use it in the video.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Whoa!
What
is up, Stalwart?
What is up, Stalwart?
Is it you or me? Shh. What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the league? It's your boys, and we back for another
HHN video.
HHN video, and we are 2 days away from HHN, everybody. We hope you're as hyped as we are. And you know, speaking of hype, what's today's video on?
So, a lot of you have asked us to do this, but we didn't want to do it any earlier because what's the point? What's the point of talking about Halloween Horror Nights, specifically this video, so far away from the day? No, it's happening Friday. And we're going to talk about what we predict to be like the best mazes of 2017, our most anticipated mazes, if you will. And we're going to go all the way from the worst to the best, and there's 8 mazes, but we're only going to talk about 7, because both of us have The Walking Dead as number 8. So we're going to go from 7 onwards. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Let's get to it. Number 7 coming on my list is The Horrors of Blumhouse. I am really, okay, I like the concept, I like the mashup, but none of the properties stick out for me. There's Sinister, there's The Purge, there's Happy Death Day. The Purge, we've seen it before. Sinister, as some of you may know from our previous live stream, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I think it's a very long movie and the payoff is very, very little. But Happy Death Day is probably the most exciting thing about that maze because we haven't seen the movie yet. We've only seen that one trailer.
Right.
It looks pretty good. So that's why it's at the bottom of my list. I have no hype for this maze whatsoever. I mean, we're gonna go through it because we're gonna go through all of them, but I have with this particular maze. How about you?
My number 7 actually goes to Ash vs. the Evil Dead. It's something I'm not really looking forward to. I mean, I'm gonna go through it, but I don't know. It's just I really like the old Evil Dead mazes that they did, but something seems off about this new one. And you know, after watching a bit of the first season and Thomas telling me about the second season, I hear it's an okay show. It's not that good. So I don't know how that's gonna translate into a maze. You know, maybe I could be wrong and they're gonna pull like a Crimson Peak where the maze was great but the movie sucked. Who's to say? But yeah, that's why Ash vs. the Evil Dead is at the bottom of my list. My number 6 goes to Insidious. Insidious
Beyond the Further.
Insidious, Somewhere in the Further. I feel it was a little too soon for another Insidious maze. What was the last one? Like 3 years ago?
2015.
2015. I still have that Insidious taste in my mouth, so I wasn't really ready to see the Black Lady and the Man Who Can't Breathe Right and Darth Maul to come back. And even if you're adding a third monster that is DJ Khaled because he's got the keys, I don't know. Yeah, that's why Insidious is at the number 6.
My number 6 is Ash vs. Evil Dead. So I mean, the show itself it's okay. The first season is far superior than the second one, but that's because in the second one they decide to not only have like one deadite in the entire season. And there is a lot of hype behind the Henrietta character. But the thing is, I feel like that's going to be a really hard puppet to do successfully. So if it's heavily based on the first season, great. But it sounds like from when we went to Midsummer Screen is going to be based on the second. So that's why, you know, possessed cars, demon babies, yeah, not too crazy about Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Not too hype?
No. Number 5 on my list is Saw: The Games of Jigsaw. I think that this is gonna be like, okay, kinda cool. From what I've heard from you and from other people of the league, it's gonna be very, very smelly. It's going to be a lot of watching people being trapped and trying to get out of saw traps. I feel like, unlike other mashups that are doing like 2, 3, 4 properties, they're doing 8 movies in one maze. It's gonna be really packed. A lot is going to fall through. It's gonna be. We'll see.
My number 5 goes fifth. Number 5 goes to American Horror Story Roanoke. Probably one of the big things that worries me is that the maze went up so fast. It was like it was a dirt patch, and then we went back like 2 days later, and it was already up, and they were just finishing up the facade up front. That kind of worries me because they could have either like cheapened the way, or maybe they didn't put as much effort into it because, like I said, there was a big pile of dirt before there, and it was maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
A pile of dirt?
Yeah.
That was months ago.
That was not months ago. That was like last month.
No, that was
like last month.
So the summer is just kind of fusing into one day for you. No, it was at the beginning of the summer.
But I definitely just don't. I don't know. Just based off of one season, I get that we're gonna get more of American Horror Story Roanoke goodness, but I am kind of like upset that we didn't get the other 3 mazes like Orlando's getting. I think that would have been more hype because I really enjoyed last year's American Horror Story where it was 3 shows put into one. So. My number 4 goes to Saw: The Games of Jigsaw. Now, you've never experienced a Saw maze. I have. That was actually the first year that I went. There was a Saw maze. They're cool. It's cool to see how they kind of portray the traps in their like little scenarios. And yeah, you are walking through because obviously they can't put like a reverse bear trap on you and just be like, all right, walk through this, and if you make it out, you're not gonna die. But some of the scares that are in that are pretty cool because you'll see like the piggy mans like set up the traps on people and they're like freaking out, and then the people will break out and jump at you and you're just like, oh, I thought the piggy man was gonna get me, but you got me. And then you'll just see like the death and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool maze to walk through, and it's just pretty cool to see like all of Jigsaw's traps and stuff like that come to life. And as opposed to what you said, I think it's pretty hype that we're getting all 8 movies because they can just kind of pick and choose the best of. Whereas opposed if they had lesser things, they'd have to choose a few weaker traps because they didn't have much to work with.
My number 4, the Titans of Terror.
Ta-da!
This is, in every sense of the word, feels like it's trying to replace something. And it's really, really trying to fix a mistake or fix something as it was not intentionally meant to be there. It's really, I don't like the fact that Michael Myers will not be represented in the Titans of Terror. Michael Myers, he is a Titan, and there's not going to be it's only going to be 3 of the Titans. We've seen Freddy vs. Jason, so it's going to be cool in that sense that it's going to be Freddy vs. Jason versus Leatherface, but it's not Titans of Terror. It's Freddy vs. Jason versus Leatherface. It's not Titans of Terror. So we'll see what that mashup's like. I mean, the house is you can see is based off of the Conjuring house, but they just decide to make it it's a home haunt. Ha ha ha. So we'll see. Number 3 on my list goes to The Shining. I think The Shining, it's hyped. It really is, but from what I've heard, it's based a lot on projections. And that was one thing that I wasn't a big fan of when we did The Exorcist last year, is that it was hard to see during the day. So that makes The Shining kind of like a night exclusive maze. Like if you're doing early entry for this maze, you're not going to get the full experience. And so that's kind of a letdown. I think it's great how they've want to pay attention to every detail with the carpet, with the specific scenes that everybody recognizes, but if you can't even see the hard work, then what's the point?
My number 3 goes to Titans of Terror. So while yes, I do agree with you that this does feel very rushed and it does feel like it was trying to replace something that was originally there, I would consider this maze our sort of like original concept maze, because yes it is, it does have the big 3 IPs without Mikey Mike, which is also kind of upsetting, but at least the story that John Marty has created around it sounds pretty cool. So I'm really excited to just go through this and see how it's executed. And I mean, you can't really go wrong with, you know, Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Leatherface. Yeah, Michael Myers would have been great, it would have been awesome, I probably would have gotten Lockjaw again, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's hype. It's hype. My second most anticipated, most hype maze has to go to the Horrors of Blumhouse. Now, this maze sounds cool. Just from reading the tweets that John Murray tweeted out, just the fact that it doesn't start at the actual facade that we've been, you know, covering on in our construction updates. It actually starts in the Universal Plaza and then you dive into the theater that they've made. I think that's cool because it's like a pre-maze to a maze. And yeah, we've seen Purge countless amount of times, but we've been asking for the Purge as a maze for so long because we've had it as a scare zone. We're like, this could totally work well as a maze. We got it last year, kind of in the Gauntlet, and I'm assuming that's probably what's going to come back is the Gauntlet. But I really like the Gauntlet. I thought it was a really cool idea. So, and you know, the other 2 films that are in this, I think they're going to be awesome. I like Sinister, and I don't know much about Happy Death Day because, you know, I haven't seen the movie, but I think that's probably my least looking forward to of this maze because the killer doesn't look scary. He's like okay. So yeah, but this is probably when I heard that this is 3 or some of the Blumhouse's you know, bigger hits. Granted, Death Day isn't out yet, so can't really say it's a hit. It's really hype for me.
My number 2, American Horror Story Roanoke. Now this season, not everybody's favorite, but there's a lot of things technically that I want to see translated onto this property. For those of you who have not seen it yet, the second part of the season is very lost footage, handheld cameras. A lot of the footage is just gathered from all these different perspectives. So I want to see how they translate that feel of kind of a distance with the camera into this maze. I think that would be really, really cool to see how that's done. Also, I think seeing the Lost Colony, seeing the Butcher, seeing how everybody's, how they're dying, like when they're put up on poles or if they're strapped against some wood and they're burned.
Huh? Vlad the Impaler is it?
She basically taught Vlad the Impaler how to do it. So I think that, you know, sure, maybe the facade went up fast, but it's a very simple facade. It's just the house, I'm sure. But I think it's going to be the inside that's going to be the real kicker.
But alas, they traveled to Universal Studios, and Thomas saw that the facade was the exact same red velvet bull as it was last year. Thomas is no longer impressed and is slightly disappointed.
On my list, Insidious Beyond the Further. Love the franchise. Loved the 2015 Maze 2015. It was a great experience. I don't think it's too soon. I think that it's perfect timing. The new movie's gonna come out. I think that seeing these characters again, being terrified with you again by all those monsters, since this is going to be a 5-character scare at the end. That is going to be absolutely terrifying, because we were scared when there was only 3. Now there's going to be 5 characters trying to scare us right at the end. It's going to be crazy seeing the Bride in Black, seeing Lipstick Demon, seeing this new Key Demon, like actually experiencing the movie that we haven't even seen yet. That's going to be, I think, really, really cool.
My number 1 goes to The Shining. And, you know, obviously I've been going to the event for almost 9 years now. And throughout those 9 years, I've talked to a lot of fans, and there's always been one thing in mind. When are we going to get The Shining? When are we going to get a Stephen King maze? But more importantly, when are we going to get The Shining? It's been through everybody's mind, and we're finally getting it. Now, not only alone did he have to say The Shining, that, you know, automatically set ablaze to the entire HGen community. They were already hyped. At Midsummer Scream, he showed, like Thomas said, that he's going into every single detail that he can. Because, yeah, we're all, like, really wanted The Shining, and we're all hyped for The Shining. But John Merdy wants this even more. And so he's essentially making one of his dream mazes, so this can only be good things. And, yeah, it is a lot of projection, but going through The Exorcist last year, even when I went during the day because I had to, because, you know, that line was crazy long, there was still some pretty good stuff in there, and hopefully the black tent that they put on top of it does help out a lot, because, you know, that's what kind of keeps the light out. So I'm hoping, and I'm just really hyped for this, because it's been something that we've wanted for so long, and only good things can come from this.
And there you have it. Those are our most anticipated mazes of 2017. Let us know what your lists are in the description below. It's happening. We're gonna see. Hopefully, we see some of you this Friday.
Hey.
We're excited. It's finally here. We've been waiting all summer. We've been waiting all year since November of last year.
Yeah.
And so now, if you like this video, make ssure to hit that like button.
And you're already on the channel. You know, go ahead and subscribe. Keep up to date with all of 2017's goodness. And you know what? Past that, we'll keep going, and we'll keep you up to date with 2018, 2019, 2100, 1000, billion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We will be holographic by then.
Hey.
And so make sure, if you're on Twitter, make sure to follow us at TLE Tweets.
If you're on Instagram, make sure to follow us at TLE Pics.
And also, now we have a Snapchat.
Ooh.
So follow us at TLE Snaps for all these snaps going on when we're ever at the park. And especially for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm Thomas.
I'm Josue.
We your boys.
And we outie.